finished, and we're taking longer than that. That's more than a full year for simple change. And you see what types of deviation there can be. It's incredible. I was really amazed. So getting into the details of these steps. First meeting. Well, it turns out that for a number of organizations, it can be pretty hard to find a responsible person who says, well, I own the email system. We had a situation where we said, well, the email system, well, I need to figure out who owns that. Well, we have it, and somebody's worked on it, but everybody denies that they're responsible for them. We have to talk to, who can we talk to about the security policy? Because there were some minor things that needed to be changed in the security policy. Again, in some departments, nobody was responsible. So they had to figure out who to talk to. And then, what we also had in a number of situations was that, say, the senior guys who sort of told us to go do it, that level of that agreement on the senior level did not necessarily translate into cooperation at the next lower level. Where somebody says, well, yeah, my boss can say that, but we shouldn't be doing this, for example. Now, that can take 148 days. Okay, then we do design and planning. Now, what are the issues there? It's finding the competent people. I was amazed, and I still am amazed on a regular basis in large organizations that there's a lot of smart guys out there, but there's an awful lot of people who don't know what they're doing. And they're the majority. That's why I'm get paid to do all that stuff. Finding people to actually talk to, and then when it gets a little bit bigger, such an organization, then you have a supplier that says, well, we run this, right? So if you want to change it, you have to discuss it with us. And I say, okay, well, let's discuss. Yeah, but we need an assignment to work on that. Yeah, okay, you want an assignment? We'll give you an assignment. But before we can give you an assignment, we have to have some clue as to what it's going to cost us. Yeah, well, we don't know. We need to figure out. No, okay, go figure out. Yeah, but for that we need an assignment. That can go on for a couple of weeks or months. And then once you say, okay, this is the design. Here's the design. We know all the changes. We know all the stuff that needs to be done. And then say, well, yeah, okay, this is the assignment, but we're not signing off on that assignment. First, we have to have permission there and there and there and there, and somebody has to look at again, that gets incredibly complex. So it's a similar catch-22 situation. Or that's not the only problem that we can have, but that's one of the more frustrating ones. And that's typically an example of a power struggle that does not get resolved. And so there's a power struggle between the supplier and the demand side. And now if the people higher up who should resolve that don't understand that, then you're stuck there. And that can go on for. Well, we could do it in the same afternoon. You know, we had situations where we talked in the morning, and in the afternoon it was all written off, signed off. And then doing the change. This was really funny because we're basically talking about 1 or 2 rules in the firewall, right? That was the most complicated thing, and then there's some other stuff. Out of 20 organizations, there was 1 that could actually execute that as planned. And they could plan it 4 months in advance. They said, we came in September and they said, I said, when can you do that? Well, they looked, December the 7th. I said, what, not earlier? The other guys can do it in a week. Hey, take it or leave it. Come December the 7th, you had to split it up in 3 changes. December 7, tack, 1. December 8, the next one. 9, the next one. Brilliant. Half of these organizations could not even give a planning at all. Well, we're going to work on that. Let me get back to you when we can do it. And then some of them said, well, actually we have done it already. And then you have to clean up the mess that they've created. Again, and what's the sort of root cause of that? Typically, again, it's a qualitative or quantitative lack of resources. So they don't have the people at all, or the people are not smart enough, or the people are smart enough, but the procedures are not there. Welcome to IT in corporate environments. So then it's testing, yeah, we could do that in a day, or in 2 hours actually. But if it didn't work, if sort of stuff went wrong, we could go on it could take months before we could actually get all the people aligned to do the testing simultaneously, because that was a bit of the problem, that you have to check on a number of locations at the same time. Again, are all those people available that you need? And they're always overstretched. So then the final slide of this example, going live. Obviously, if the change is there, flip the switch and we're in business. Well, the reason why it took 2 days is because we did that go live every 2 weeks. So they actually had to wait until Friday to do that. Otherwise, they could have done it the same afternoon. That's the quickest guy. And the department that took the longest, well, I must say the department that actually did it took the longest, because there's another department that's still waiting to do this. It's still counting up, so the next time I can give this talk, it's like 300 days in the middle. And then what happens is yeah, we're all set and we're going to do this, and then, oops, do we really want to do this? Then so all our mail is now dependent on this connection. I'm not sure we want this. And then, well, all sorts of glitches that can go wrong. So basically, that's that example of how I learned to survive in the corporate world. This was a successful example. I won't bore you with the unsuccessful ones. Well, maybe tonight. And then there's the shameless plug. You can find all this stuff on the speaker info at the website, so you don't need to type it over. And I'll happily take any questions that you have for me. Who has the mic? Who has questions? There's a question over there. There's a question over there.
Hi, yeah, thanks. Great stuff. One question I have is, I'm working for a fairly small technology company, 40 people maybe.
Yeah.
And we supply sometimes middleware systems for very large organizations, for example, mobile operators. And I'm working as a project manager on these projects, and it's sometimes very hard to communicate with our client, because they gave us the assignment to do it, and then we get overwhelmed of 10 or 20 or 30, even 40 people all communicating to me because they want something, and I really don't know who has the power, who's the one I need to talk to. Sometimes they even involve other external parties who are talking to me. And do you have any advice on how you can canalize this communication with a large organization as being a supplier, maybe?
Yeah, that's a very good and interesting question. Did you hear that in the back? Otherwise, I'll repeat. Well, you're on the right track because you already diagnosed the problem. So you almost know what to do already. You need to have somebody senior at your organizations talk to somebody senior at their organizations in order to establish a more coherent and smaller interface between your two organizations, and actually escalate any exceptions to that. But these guys need to be responsive, and if they don't want that, then you, as a project manager, you have to say to your boss, listen, you're not giving me the material that I need to work with. If you can't resolve this, then my project will be delayed. And it's too much if you have 40 people to talk to on the other side. It's way too much. If you talk to 5, it's already a lot, and they should coordinate that internally. It's an indication of their own immaturity in handling this, and either they should acknowledge that, or they should ask you to sort it out for them. And in that case,